Is a Total War Saga Troy a disaster of epic proportions? Why are so many Total War fans just simply uninterested in it? Troy hasn't had a great time since release, to put it politely, and after the last DLC it got, Creative Assembly pretty much took it to the back of the shed and well, they've killed support for the game. With the upcoming release of Total War Pharaoh from CA Sophia, the creators of Troy, I decided to dive back into this game to find out just why does it get such a bad rap. And the truth is, well, there are two major things that worked against it. But before I get to that, let's have a look at what I like about it. Because honestly, Troy has some pretty neat things going for it. I would go as far as to say it's a good game, if not brilliant. I like how the game looks and runs, especially in battles. I think it looks really vibrant and it's surprisingly well optimized. However, I'm not a big fan of the stylized look of the campaign map. It looks kind of gloomy, but that's just a personal preference. I can't really talk about bugs that probably existed in the launch version because I don't have a time machine, so it seems to be in a pretty polished state right now. However, they might have missed a bug or two here. Not game ending, but should have been a simple fix. But it shows you that pretty much they've ended the support on this game. At launch, the weakest part of Troy were the battles. Lack of cavalry and unit variety made battles pretty boring after a while. I appreciated the special terrain that affected movement like mud, but these didn't make battles fun and often got pretty repetitive. I felt like this was like a one-card trick Troy knew and everyone was done with it the third time we saw it in battles. Today, Troy, together with the Mythos expansion, provides a lot of variety. Mythical beasts and units. It's definitely not a historical Total War game, but it's a competent one. The three mythical beasts are massive and really OP, but to get them you need to send an army on a mythical expedition, essentially a series of written stories with choices along the way, something like you'd see in a Crusader Kings 3 game, and it often culminates in a massive battle in the end. These are pretty challenging scripted battles, and did I say the game looks gorgeous?
Poison blood mars the ritual grounds of the Hydra, whose cultists stand ready to defend their many-headed master to the death.
If they continue to support the game, I would have loved to see more mythical beasts added into the game. Adding multiple resources to the campaign was a great move. Each settlement only specializes on one resource, so this makes picking your next settlement to conquer a much more interesting choice. It also makes diplomacy and specifically bartering a much more crucial aspect of the game. Trade what you have in surplus for something you really need. It's very easy to do and there's very little guesswork involved. Then there are the heroes, pretty much very Warhammer influence. The heroes have their own little mechanic that will impact the way you play, so picking the right one that fits your playstyle would mean a better gameplay experience for you. Like Achilles here, who I guess a lot of you probably would play first. Since he is Achilles, the greatest warrior ever known to man, he's good in a battle but a piss poor manager. I guess you could say his biggest heel is managing the cities. Get it? Achilles heel. Oh, Achilles here is a moody little bitch, and his mood swings impact your armies and also many a times negatively impact the happiness of your cities. Expect to have your populace pull out the pitchforks. If you want a more typical Total War experience, playing Agamemnon, who lets you vassalize other factions and demand stuff from vassals, is probably the better choice. You can easily enrich yourselves to build a grand, magnificent army. Now that all sounds awesome, so where did Troy go wrong? Those two things I mentioned in the beginning of this video. The first one has nothing to do with the game, but a business decision. Yes, blame the business suits at CA and Sega. When Creative Assembly announced Troy was going to be an Epic Games exclusive and gave it away for free on the launch day, it was more of a promotion of the Epic Games Store than a new Total War. Remember, these were the days when people were not used to having that many digital distribution platforms installed on their PC, and there was definitely a hesitance to use the Epic Games Store. Mainly the whole exclusivity strategy which Epic took. I won't get into that in this video. It just felt like a scummy move, you know. As consumers, we want the choice to play the games we want on the platforms we prefer. The second major thing is with the design direction. They launched the game with a bit of an identity crisis. Not quite a historical Total War, not a fantasy or mythology focused game. They went with this whole truth behind the myth, which was a mistake. I think the idea of seeing mythological creatures like Cyclops as a big skull-wearing dude was interesting for a while, but this led to the game lacking variety and things got boring quickly. They should have made the game with the content from the Mythos expansion to begin with. Troy could have been like how Age of Mythology was for the Age of Empires series. It could have been special like that, but no, they had to do this nonsense just to sell the expansion that made the game what it should have been later on, when the interest and the audience for the game are no longer there. I think CA Sofia did develop a good game here, but it was ruined by bad decisions beyond them. If you played Troy, tell me in the comments what you thought about it. If you liked this video, hit the like button to help it with the algorithm. I'll be checking out Total War Pharaoh when it comes out, so stay tuned for that. Smack the subscribe button to help my channel out and keep tabs with the new videos I'll be publishing. That's it. Thanks for watching. Bye.